I'm Sanan and I'm from Pakistan.
My name is Prince Lamini, and I'm from Zimbabwe.
My name is Mahmoud Mrame. I am from the Gambia, West Africa.
My name is Mohinur and I'm from Uzbekistan.
My name is Edith Carola Yimbo. I'm from Cameroon.
My name is Blerta Totay and I'm from Kosovo.
I worked for about a month and a half in a bakery on Salamis.
I have worked in two places actually. First one was an axe throwing place, pretty new in Famagusa, and where I'm working currently, and it's an international financial consultancy.
In TRNC, I've worked in many places, but the first one was Sea Life Hotel under Nonela Group of Companies. Presently, I'm working with Caesar Resorts.
About a year ago or more, I used to work as a chemistry teacher in Doha College here in Magusa.
Yeah, sometimes we do experience racism in our workplaces, but we had no choice to do. Actually, all the racism I experienced, I have done nothing about it. I just leave it to the way it is. Because at some point, I saw it like I'm looking for my interest, and when I'm done with that, I will leave this country for good. So I took all racism that has been put on me here.
No, not a single day. I've never experienced any sort of racism.
Like directly, I'm not going to say that I experienced racism or sexism, but at some particular times I did. Like for example, I was a cashier in the bakery, and once there was this customer who was particularly Turkish, and for me being a student, I don't know such phrases or words in Turkish that well, which she was expecting, and in some way it made him kind of agitated, and he had this certain rude behavior towards me as if I was an outsider and I don't know the specific words that I had to say in Turkish.
Racism, yes, because they see that you don't skin color first, you don't speak their language, they talk anyhow, and they use insultive words with you. So it's somehow hurting. You can't do anything because you need the job. You need to make ends meet. You have to take care of yourself. Some of us, we have to pay our fee. So you just have to ignore. For me, I ignored because I knew what I'm out for. So I ignored, I continued my work.
Yeah, exactly. There are a lot of labor exploitations going on in the island here. I experienced some for sure, like where you have a late payment, and sometimes they will not even pay you. Some people, yeah, and also like you will be working with some people at the same time, the same job, where you may even do more than the person, but because you are black and they are white, they will pay them more, and you are going to be paid less. So that's really an exploitation, where they are giving all the basic needs and you are denied.
I worked at 2 locations. In the first location, they wanted me to work 15 hours every day, and the pay was about 500 TL per week. The time would start at 3 a.m. and end at 6 p.m. every single day. There was no legitimate contract, no nothing, no saying, okay, this is the wage hours and everything. I just started immediately. But I quit the same day. The second location, however, this was the worst experience of mine. In the second location, I worked at, I could say, a cafe. My job that I wanted to have was, or what I got was cleaning. Let's just say cleaning the tops of the tables, cleaning the kitchen. That was my job. But every single day, as the days progressed, I started getting more duties. Suddenly I'm the cashier. Suddenly I'm also the cook. Suddenly I'm also the delivery person. And my wage was never it was already below minimum wage. And suddenly I felt like I was doing everything. And the next thing I know, the owner leaves randomly and I'm stuck in the cafe not knowing what to do. There's nobody else there. And if someone comes and they order something and I don't know how to make it, what do I do? Like, who do I call? Like, it'll be my fault, you know? It's just, it wasn't good. And there were days where he would say, oh, I'm sorry, maybe the wage, you wouldn't get it because if there are no customers that day, I cannot give it to you. So I wasn't even paid sometimes. So that was my experience. I worked there for about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, and I quit after that.
I think some don't respect their hours of work. You work 12 hours for maybe 65 TL, 80 TL. Yes, my wage, I think I have 2 places that are owing my money, they have not paid because they know they'll tell you that students are not supposed to work. They use that as an advantage. You like take me to the police, they won't do me anything. So I just have to let go.
The positives is that at that time, I wasn't doing very well with money. And the fact that I even had an opportunity to get something like that, or to get any money that day, or to feed myself that day was a godsend. But at the end of the day, even if it did give me food for that day, it still wasn't good. Like, it still wasn't a good experience overall, because none of it I felt was legal. Everything I felt was exploitative, and you know, it's just not worth it. Instead, I could have just asked for a friend for help instead of getting myself into that situation. I was already so anxious every single day thinking I wouldn't be able to get out, you know.
The work for negative side is tedious, I can say. Because for myself, some of us, we work in the kitchen, they will say you're just to maybe do dishing, but you find out at the end of the day, you do almost everything. You have to mop, you help them in the kitchen, you do some cooking, and so it's quite tedious at times. You come back home, you don't even have the strength to do something for yourself. You're tired. The positive side is I have to learn other dishes, other things, learning international, trying to also learn the language. Yes, that's what I can say for the positive side.
Yeah, actually there are positive areas. Anywhere you go, you have both sides. You have advantage and disadvantages. Like the positive side, along the way you tend to meet a lot of good people. Not everyone that are racist and not everyone that are bad. I've met a lot of white good people that they like me a lot. Anywhere we interact, we share contacts, make friends as well. Yeah, but the negative aspect, like most of the times, is the big bosses that are controlling the people. Most of the times, the negative parts came from them. Probably they may pay you late. Some people have working somewhere else last year where I worked for 2 weeks and I did not get my salary even today. So it's crazy actually. It has both negative and positive sides.
Again, there's pros and cons to everything. So I'll start with my first job. My first job was basically axe throwing. As I said, there was a new place in Famagusta. Through networking, I approached the guy and had some practice time throwing the axe. And eventually I became an axe throwing instructor, you know. That was fun, that was good. COVID happened, so we had to close. Now at TRNC present moment, I've got a new job and I'm a graphic designer. I take care of all, you know, the creative work, anything that's visual for the company, I take care of it. So yeah, that's going pretty well, to be honest. I'm loving it, yeah.
I would definitely recommend to my friends and family members to work here in Magusa.
For the newcomers, I can't, for me for once, I refuse encouraging anybody coming here. If you are coming for studies and you have your backup, you can come. But if you think you're coming to work and school, maybe make a living, I can't recommend anybody. Yes, because they take the advantage that they know that students don't have to work. I don't know if that is what the government say. So they can do as they like. And that's it. It's so hectic.
I will recommend my friends to work in the TRNC at this age because it's quite fruitful and it's going to help you in a lot of ways. But still, I'm just going to stick to the point that at this age, your first priority should be education and not work.
Yeah, Probably, like if you're gonna meet the right person, if you meet the right person that is understandable and care for you as a worker, as an employee, and give you all the necessity that you need. For example, you may get your work permit, you get your insurance, and you are getting your pay on time without no discrimination. If you get such a person, I can recommend you can work for the person. So here in this country, yeah, you can definitely. But if you don't, it's not easy, because at some point you may get an accident. They don't even care whether you are dead, you did, or you are injured or any other thing. They will just leave you like that. Just tend to care for yourself.
I would recommend it to maybe master students, but I would not recommend it to bachelor students who have just come to the island. I feel like a master student timetable is more flexible and can easily work with some of the places here. You have to do it what you are good at. I have a friend who is a model, and she works very flexible hours with them. Like, she's not being exploited. She's like, there's an actual contract system, and she gets paid very well. Like, she's good at that, you know? Like, you have to find something that you're good at as well.
Again, all students will have different, experiences. Some are good, some are bad. It's just how it is. After COVID, like, most people need jobs. Most students need to support themselves outside from what they get from home. Some don't even get anything from home. So some jobs will be good, some jobs will be bad. But again, from my experience, I've had a really flippin' positive experience. I love it. I would stay with them if I have to, if I could. But again, if you listen to some other guy, he'll tell you a different story. So I'll keep saying, just be subjective about it. There is good out there and there is bad out there. So yeah.